Cowboys Nation, get ready to lock in. Because what happened on First Take this morning wasn't just a debate segment. It wasn't just the usual back and forth about America's team. No, today felt different. Today carried energy. Today carried fear from our rivals. Today sounded like the national media finally realizing what Cowboys fans have been screaming for weeks. Dallas is shifting. Dallas is rising. Dallas is stepping into a moment that could flip the NFC upside down. And if you didn't catch every second of it, don't worry. Dallas Game Day has you covered. We're breaking down every comment, every statistic, every emotional spark, and every moment that moved the entire conversation about the Cowboys. Because First Take didn't just talk about Dallas, they spotlighted Dallas. They elevated Dallas. They acknowledged Dallas as the team everyone should be watching heading into Week 24. The show opened with Russo practically levitating about what CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens, and Devontae Williams did on Monday Night Football. He wasn't calm, he wasn't neutral, he was fired up, borderline yelling, saying the Eagles aren't beating this Cowboys team 13-10. Not this time, not in Dallas, not with this offense. And then he said the line that echoed across social media. The Cowboys are going to put up points on Sunday. They're going to beat the Eagles. He didn't dance around it. He didn't hedge. He didn't soften the take. He declared it. That was the first spark of the morning. But then came the gasoline. The host cut in and said something that grabbed everyone's attention. The highlight of Week 24 will be the Dallas Cowboys taking on the Eagles in Jerry's world. And she's right. The NFL schedule is full of games this week, but none carry the weight, the emotion, the playoff implications, or the rivalry history like this one. Cowboys versus Eagles in Arlington isn't a game. It's a collision. It's a test. It's the moment where seasons bend and narratives break. She continued by pointing out what every Cowboys fan saw on Monday night. The defense looked new, not improved, new. Monday was the first time Dallas rolled out the new trade acquisitions, paired with the guys returning from injury. It was the first time the core pieces played together, and the results were immediate. Pressure, physicality, speed, communication, confidence, all elevated, all synchronized, all working in a way that finally felt like the Dallas defense we were supposed to see this year. But the host didn't stop there. She brought up the playoff stakes, something the national media rarely does with Dallas this early. She said straight up, Dallas enters this game with only a 7% chance to reach the postseason. With a win, it jumps to 12%. With a loss, it drops to 3%. 3%! That is the kind of number that shocks a fan base. That is the kind of number that changes how players approach a week. That is the kind of number that wakes up a locker room. And suddenly, the importance of Sunday went from big game to survival. And then came the clip. The moment everyone saw online. Greeny putting on the cowboy hat. The entire table laughing as he plays the villain. And then they demanded. They want him to say the mantra, the rallying cry, the words that live in the soul of every Cowboys fan in the world. And he says it. How about them Cowboys? Not mocking, not sarcastic, not joking. He said it with conviction, and it hit the entire NFL world like a punch through the screen. That was fun, but what came next was real. Stephen A. Smith, the man who has made a career out of clowning Dallas, said something he almost never says. He admits that the Cowboys have a really damn good chance of beating the Philadelphia Eagles. He said it with a straight face. He said it with stats to back it up. He even gave it a 50-50 chance. And then he said the part that shook viewers. He acknowledged that if the Cowboys win, Greeny will come back strutting and flexing on national TV. And the reason he gave for why Dallas has a real shot? Dak Prescott. This is where the segment turned into something Cowboys fans will replay all season. Stephen A. listed the numbers, the ones that cut through all the noise, the ones that remove every doubt. Since Nick Sirianni became head coach of the Eagles, Dak is 4-2 against Philadelphia. But it's not just the record. Dallas has averaged 35 points per game against the Eagles during that stretch. Dak is averaging 285 yards passing with 16 touchdowns and 1 single interception. 6 games, 1 interception, complete domination. Stephen A. said it clearly. Dak Prescott balls against the Philadelphia Eagles. That is not a sentence he ever wanted to say. But he said it because he had no choice. The numbers don't lie. The tape don't lie. Dak's performance in this rivalry is undeniable. And with CeeDee Lamb healthy, George Pickens exploding, and Devontae Williams bringing power, Dallas is not coming into this matchup quietly. But then he made the point that matters even more. He listed Overshown. He listed Quinnen Williams. He listed Logan Wilson. He acknowledged that all three of those impact players were not available the last time Dallas played the Eagles. And he admitted that this defensive unit is significantly better than what we saw earlier in the season. That is a major admission. National media almost never praises Dallas defensively, but they had to today. And that led into the next moment. Stephen A. saying this is a pick'em game. Not Eagles favorite, not Dallas needing luck, a straight-up, even heavyweight fight. Then Swagoo stepped in, former Cowboy, voice of the trenches, analyst who knows exactly what a rivalry game feels like. He started with skepticism. He said the Raiders are so bad that having 12 men on the field while kneeled down is one of the worst things he's ever seen. He said he hasn't seen Dallas play well against elite defenses in recent outings. That criticism is honest, it's fair, it's the kind of pushback the team needs. But then Swagoo shifted. He said the words that matter most. He said this team is playing for something bigger than football. He talked about how the death of Marshall Needland changed the atmosphere, the emotion, and the unity inside the locker room. He said the players are banding together, not for stats, not for narratives, not for highlight clips. They're playing for each other. They're playing with heavy hearts. They're playing with purpose. That matters. That changes teams. That creates identity. And then he said something subtle but powerful. He acknowledged that Dallas has shown they can be explosive. He acknowledged that Dallas has talent capable of competing with the top of the league. And he didn't dismiss the idea that Dallas could beat Philadelphia. He simply said, prove it. Cowboys Nation, that's exactly what Sunday is about. Proof. The chance to take everything that happened Monday night, the energy, the momentum, the unity, the defensive resurgence, and put it on the field in the biggest game of the season. The chance to show the country that Dallas isn't the team they were in Week 1, Week 4, Week 6. They're a team that rebuilt itself, a team that fought through emotion and adversity, a team that rediscovered identity, a team that is walking into their home stadium with a chance to change everything. Everything that was said on First Take today pointed to one reality. The Cowboys have the stage, the firepower, the leadership, the quarterback, the defense, and the emotional fuel to make this game theirs. And if they do, this season doesn't just stay alive, it ignites. Cowboys Nation, we ride into Sunday with clarity, with energy, with belief, because this team is ready. This team is focused. This team is dangerous, and this team is about to make the NFC take notice. Drop your thoughts below, hit like, and subscribe. It's Dallas Game Day, and this is what being a Cowboy is all about. We ride.